All right, hello everybody. Hope your day is going well. You know, we started off today with a little bit of cloud cover out there. You've noticed that right there on the screen. I'm going to step over here and turn down this mic just a little bit. It was up a little loud. I didn't want to get any feedback on the mic there for y'all. So here we have it. Just a little bit of blue sky out there for some areas, but again, that cloud cover is really built in as we made our way throughout the morning. I see a lot of people saying good morning, by the way. Good morning to all of y'all. I hope your day is going well. We've got lower to mid 80s out there at the moment. Notice 87 in Del Rio, but we do have a few 70s, and those areas are 70s for a reason other than Bernie. Bernie is typically a cooler spot anyway, whenever we're looking at the temperature map. But Hallettsville, Columbus, Bay City, a lot cooler than some areas around it, and that is because that is rain cool there. And we're going to get to that here in just a moment. First of all, I want to get the allergy report out of the way. Mold is at a heavy level for today, so if you're sneezing, that could be the reason why. Now, we did have a little bit of shower activity earlier on today, again, just off to our east. I think we're going to have a little bit more shower activity as we head into this afternoon. Now, a majority of this rain is going to be for our friends in Houston, Galveston, stretching over to Beaumont, and then the Lake Charles area. But I think we're going to see a few showers ourselves as we head into this afternoon. A wider look at this shows the system that's causing that rainfall, again, right through here. Now, that was a system that we talked about just yesterday that had a 10% chance for tropical development. Now it has a 0% chance, no chance. But it is going to bring a little bit of rain here to parts of Texas. As we make our way throughout the day, again, about a 20 to 30% chance, mainly for areas east of I-35. You see it in future clouds and radar there by 2:30. By the time we get to 5 p.m., still possibly a light shower or two out there. But anything that we see today should be pretty brief. Not expecting a lot of heavy rainfall. That doesn't come until we head into the weekend, and you'll see that in a moment. By the way, temperatures today, they rise into the 90s for highs. We move into tonight, dropping back off to the 70s, a little bit of cloud cover there, and then 90s again for tomorrow as we head into the mid to latter part of the afternoon, that is, with about a 30% chance for rain again. So just a few brief showers and storms, again, here and there. You're not guaranteed rain, but know that you will have that chance as we head from today and into tomorrow. So what's going on with the tropics right now? You know, there's a lot of life that's coming into the tropics at the moment at the time of the year where we typically see it happen. So starting to see some activity ramp up a little bit. Right now we do have a system that's located right over the northern edge of Cuba that is going to be shifting on off towards the west here as we make our way throughout today. Now, as this comes off of Cuba, the Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunters, which fly out of Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi, are going to be flying their WC-130J Super Hercules aircraft through this system to try to find the center, get a better idea of the health of the storm, and they'll drop something called a drop sonde through it, multiple ones, to get an idea of the health of the storm and what the environment is like out ahead of it to kind of get a better gauge on if this storm could intensify rapidly as it continues its way off to the west. Now, that's going to be important information for us to know because this system is expected to track towards the Texas coastline. We have a low chance for development over the next 48 hours, but over the next 5 days, it bumps up to a medium chance, about a 40% chance for tropical development as we make our way throughout the next 5 days. So that's going to be when we see that better shot once it gets further away from Cuba and it moves into the open waters of the Gulf, which are pretty warm right now, to see if we can get a tropical cyclone to form. Now, most of the weather models have hinted that it would be a weaker system if one did form, something that will happen once the Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunters gather this data. Once they gather it, it'll be put into weather models, and the weather models may change what they think the storm or the system could do as it continues its track off to the west. So it's going to be something that we're going to have to keep a close eye on. We'll, of course, continue to keep you updated on it. The 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron is a great group that flies right there at Keesler. What they do is very important, and we'll see exactly why with this system, which could impact Texas. You know, we're expecting increased rain chances Friday and Saturday here in San Antonio, and it's from that system. And you know what? They just upped the system that's further on off to the east. Guys, let me check the latest information. because between the time that I left the Weather Center and came back here to another part of the studio, they have increased the chances for development for this system that is further on off to the east of the Lesser Antilles. Now has an 80% chance of development over the next 5 days. And guys, I don't doubt it. I mentioned it earlier. If you were watching earlier on today, I said, you know, that could end up being Gonzalo by the time we finish today. And they just bumped it from a 40% chance of development over the next 5 days, which was the update that happened at 9 a.m., to now an 80% chance for tropical development over the next 48 hours to 5 days. Guys, I think this one's going to actually get its name today. There's a little bit of dry air near it, so we'll have to see if it gets impacted by that dry air, but it could actually earn its name this afternoon and become Tropical Storm Gonzalo. We'll see what happens, so it could take 48 hours to 5 days still as it gets closer to the Lesser Antilles. Either way, this is so far out there that it's really not a concern right now, just something that we're going to have to watch closely. So, a lot of activity in the tropics. What gives? Why are we having such an increase in tropical activity? Well, this is the time of year where it typically happens. As we approach August 1st, you see how the graph goes up there. The peak of hurricane season, September 10th. So we're going to be on the rise with tropical activity all the way through September 10th, more than likely. Historically speaking, that's when we typically have it. And then it should start to track back once we make our way into October. So these systems are expected to track towards the Gulf. And why is that? Well, the steering pattern is set for systems to head towards the Gulf of Mexico. As that big area of high pressure sits off the east coast or off to the east in general, it makes systems sneak under it and then come up around. So that's the kind of motion that we're going to be watching here with these systems. Now, notice that by Wednesday, it does shift off to the east a bit, but it's going to slowly drift back our direction, that area of high pressure. And with that, it's going to continue to push things all the way across the Gulf of Mexico, which is what this system is expected to do. That's over near Cuba. It's expected to push all the way across the Gulf and towards Texas. So that's a little bit of a background behind that steering pattern, why we think it would take that motion. Now, over the next 7 days, we're going to get a good amount of rain, which is much needed. We're expecting anywhere from about 1/4 inch down towards Cotulla and Tilden to maybe even 1 1/4 to 1.5 inches for areas like Kerrville, New Braunfels, Gonzales, Cuero, Victoria, places that need rainfall. Heck, we all need rainfall here in South Texas. So it's nice to see some increased chances for rain here as we head throughout the next 7 days. So when do we get a majority of that rain? That's the big question. It's going to be on Friday and Saturday and into Saturday night. That's when we're going to have 40 to 50% chances for rain, and honestly, we may see those rain chances bump up even higher. Until then, though, really about a 20 to 30% chance. And honestly, tonight it'll be about a 30 to 40% chance. Temperatures will be in the 70s for lows, 90s for highs throughout the next week. Notice the average in the top right corner of your screen. The average low is mid-70s, average high is mid-90s. We're right around where we should be for this time of year for the week ahead compared to those triple digits we had earlier in the month. So, moderate to severe drought still an issue for areas near the Rio Grande, and we have abnormally dry conditions in Bexar County. We need the rainfall. It's nice to see it in the 7-day forecast. I think we may actually get lucky enough to see some measurable rainfall in San Antonio today. It's going to be a close call. It may stay just to our east. So we may miss out. We may just barely luck out. It's going to be a close call for today, though. At least over the next 7 days, I will tell you, we will break the streak of dry weather at the airport. The San Antonio airport, where the rain gauge is collecting this data, is 2 inches, more than 2 inches behind average, and we are more than 4 inches behind average for the year. 2 inches behind average for the month, 4 inches behind average for the year. We need the rain. The aquifer is also down. We've been talking about it for a while. 655.8 is the 10-day average. Remember, when it dropped below 660, that's when we moved into stage 1 water restrictions. We're going to continue to watch that very closely. So I mentioned a moment ago, 24 days without measurable rainfall. We have recorded a trace of rain here and there, but no measurable rainfall out at the San Antonio airport. The rainfall outlook for the next 8 to 14 days makes it look like we could have a tropical system get close to the region. When we go 8 to 14 days out, having an increased chance for rainfall possible. Again, it's needed. Let's just hope that the tropical system can remain weak. We don't want any damage to our friends along the coast or even inland, because remember, tropical systems can even cause impacts inland. Right now, not expecting anything major from this system other than some rain, but remember that can change, and we'll continue to keep you updated on it. The next 8 to 14 days also brings above average temperatures. So the Lone Star 3-day forecast, looking like a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity, especially for areas along I-35 and east over the next 3 days. Looking at the Texas State Park forecast, looking like we'll have a chance for rain for some areas today, but you notice not everybody. Again, it's only a 30% chance for a few brief showers and storms as we head through today. Jenny wants to know, will any of this rain bring severe storms? Jenny, that's a good question. You know, whenever you have a tropical system that could bring your rain, sometimes you could have brief spin-up tornadoes, especially for areas closer to the coast. It's honestly possible further inland too, but considering the fact that we don't know the current track of this system, I would say not right now. We're not expecting any severe storms. But we could get some tropical funnels to form, something that we had a few weeks ago down towards Bee and Live Oak counties from a tropical type system. If it goes due west, passes south of San Antonio, and then goes north, we may get a side of the storm that is more conducive for forming some of those types of tropical funnels and possibly brief spin-up tornadoes. But if we get the wrong side of the storm, which is the side of the storm that wouldn't produce that, I guess, the side that we'd rather have, then we would have a lower chance of seeing some of those tropical funnels. We'll watch that closely, and we'll, of course, continue to keep you updated, Jenny, as we head throughout this next week. So, last but not least, cloudy with a chance of learning. Meteorologist Megan Massey has been working hard on the graphics for today's lesson. Yesterday, we talked to the Whitty Museum. Today, sunrises and sunsets. What gives them that beautiful color? And, you know, we'll talk a little bit about great places to catch the sunrise and sunset here in South Texas, too, while we're at it. Meteorologist Megan Massey and I, we love the great outdoors. We love, you know, anything outdoors related, and sunrises and sunsets. We love them too. It's always beautiful to see all the colors stream across the sky. We're going to talk about why those colors even form in the sky in the first place. On Wednesday, all about water vapor. Thursday is pets and the weather. And then Friday, a field trip to the San Antonio Zoo. Remember, we do Cloudy with a Chance of Learning every day at 1 p.m. We keep that learning going as we make our way throughout these summer months and while school's out from the coronavirus situation. So one last look at the radar, guys, before we sign off of here. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. We'll keep you updated, of course. Meteorologist Andrew Wilson is in at noon for the latest on the forecast. Meteorologist Megan Massey and myself will be on for Cloudy with a Chance of Learning at 1. And Weather Chief Bill Taylor is in at 4, 5, 6, and 10 with all the updates for tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, and we'll keep you updated right here at Ken's 5. Don't forget, you can also get updates through our social media pages as well as right here on the Ken's 5 page on these tropical situations that we're eyeing very closely. We will definitely keep everybody updated as more information comes out. Have a great one.